Well, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We're still coming to you live from Kwale County. Matters to do with irrigation. You don't know how vital it is. It powers agriculture, which is the backbone of the country's gross domestic product and economic growth, which the Better program run by the administration, the current administration, is banking on. And of course, we're still here with the Principal Secretary of State Department for Irrigation, CPA Ephatus Kimotho. We were talking about earlier on, PS, in terms of some of the major irrigation schemes we do have here in the coastal region. One example is Galana Kulalu. Tell us about how private investors have been allocated land to farm in that scheme.
These normally a private investor through the PPP is something we call the private initiated proposal. They would apply and to the contracting authority, in this case, the National Irrigation Authority. Then the National Irrigation Authority will be able, even as the State Department of Irrigation, together with the National Irrigation Authority, will be able to look at the proposal and see whether it aligns with the government plan. That is a strategy plan for the State Department, and also strategy plan for a National Irrigation Authority, and also the bigger, better plan for the current administration. So if it aligns, then we go to the next stage, which is now to evaluate the proposal, and later we're able to now engage the PPP Directorate, who normally give an approval for us to go to the project development phase. At that point, we are able to now have a commercial agreement and commercial negotiation with the private party, where we agree on the terms in terms of how much they'll be paying for order tariff, how much they'll be paying for the land lease, and also over time things like capping the prices, just to ensure that they're actually addressing the issue of food security, if it's how much they will sell a bag of maize and those kind of things. But some of the negotiations that we end up having, just to make sure that it's also something that is actually beneficial. And in this case, for example, in Galana, for example, they did a trial, and from the trial, 1 acre comfortably produced that 5 bags. So meaning when you do 2 seasons, 1 acre will give you 70 bags. So if you had to put just 100,000 acres under that, that means it will give you 7 million bags of maize. And currently, as you know, in the country, we have a shortage of, we had a deficit of around 10 million bags. So with these rains and the issue of subsidy fertilizer, I think we've had a good production. That's why you can even see the price of unga started going down. But previously, we used to have a deficit of around 10 million bags. So with Galana itself, that means it will address that deficit to the tune of 70%. So those are the things that we're talking about. When you reduce the amount of food we're importing, then again, we also reduce the pressure of the dollar. They're saying, let's just limit ourselves to importing just what we don't have. Things like fuel, but not food, whereby we have arable land, we have water, and that's the strategy we have as the State Department of Irrigation.
And then again, PS, we have witnessed this emerging trend where some section of the populace are objecting or showing their defiance towards certain key projects even before they are started at the end of the day. So as a ministry, running these vital irrigation schemes, some already running, others are coming up, how do you ensure that these schemes at the end of the day are community owned and driven?
So the first thing, before we establish any irrigation scheme, we do a lot of public participation. Then with the farmers and the groupings, because even when we're doing the irrigation scheme, some of the challenges we find is well leaves. So with that public participation and people understanding the needs of that and what you're doing as a government, then we're able to solve most of those issues. Then after that, immediately we form the farmers into groups. We call them the Irrigation Water Users Associations. That Irrigation Water Users Association has several blocks based on the farmers, how the farmers are. You know, when you do these irrigation schemes, you find we normally do the main canal, then after that there are the secondary canals, which now go to the land of the people. So each secondary canal is formed into a group. So those groups now, we form those groups way before we start with other projects. And after that, we also at times require them to do a small contribution just to show their commitment and ownership. And with that now, that brings a lot of sustainability even going forward. Then after that, we also engage the leaders a lot. So that way, we're able to, basically stakeholders engagement is very key towards the success of an irrigation scheme. That is even, especially after it is complete. Again, another key stakeholder is the county government, because as you know, agriculture is devolved, and they have the extension services. So when we start the project, we again engage the county, so that when we have those project implementation team, as the project is going on, they're also part and parcel of it. So that by the time you're completing, they also refer their extension services to the particular project. Yeah.
Going back to what you've just said, we're talking about collaboration between the national and the county government, two levels of the government itself, in terms of ensuring that key projects, like for example, one is Wangamachame. If it is complete, you will hand it over successfully to Kwale County government. So what key parameters will you put in place to ensure that those projects at the end of the day are working as it was intended to?
Yeah, so what you normally do, like now for the first year, immediately after you are done, like now we intend to do a benchmark trip with the farmers here, and we'll be working together with the county so that the farmers can be shown how well to do, how well to farm, how to maximize yield. And in that process, we are working with the county and also the extension officers. So for a whole year, we work together, even after the project is over. A year or two, we continue working together because we also have experts in irrigation, water management. So they work together with the county government and the farmers. Then from there, at some point, the irrigation water associations, they're allowed to also professionally engage an operator. So this operator will ensure efficiency. And that's why at that point, that's why the farmers now, when they start getting money, they pay a little bit of some money to go towards operational maintenance. So that now ensures operational efficiency. Then the county, on the other hand, their work is mainly to ensure these extension officers, they give them some input. The national government already is giving the fertilizer. But again, farmers need some other inputs like seeds and the likes. So also there are small things like, not really small, but at times the infrastructure inside, at times we work together with the county so that farmers, when they have the produce, they also can be able to get the produce out to the market. Then also things like a processing, a milling plant. Like now in this project where we just did, this is a rice project. So again, for the farmers to actually be able to derive the benefit, they again need a milling plant. So like now in this, the county has actually even bought a milling plant in readiness for that project. So there's always a number of collaborations that you do with the county to ensure all this goes to the benefit of the Mwananchi. Yeah.
And PS, you're well aware, at this day and age, accountability and transparency is everything, because when it comes to the ensuring that the public coffers are well utilized, accountability and transparency is very key. So the question comes in then, these various projects we have witnessed, even some of them stalled, becoming white elephant projects. At the end of the day, how do you ensure that Wangamachame irrigation and various other irrigations like Galana Kulalu, at the end of the day, are value for money?
Yeah, you see, like let me start with Wangamachame. Wangamachame, as I said, one thing that we've done is training the farmers. And the farmers, they're actually very eager to do it. And we have both groups. There's a group we call Irrigation Water Users Association. Then also we also have the cooperative. And we keep on engaging these cooperatives in terms of, so that now where we have a farmer who cannot be able to do the farming, but he has the water, we're also able to help them lease out the land. Because if we don't do that, then that means that farmer will not be paying for the water, and in the process, the sustainability of the scheme becomes a challenge. So those are some of the arrangements that at times we do, just making sure, first of all, each and every farmer understands the importance. So if you can't be able to farm, maybe because of your age, then we're also able to, we try and encourage them to come with a leasing framework. So by so doing now, we ensure the whole piece of land is under production. Once under production, even then we have the cooperative, which now helps in aggregation. Then we also make sure that these people have a market. When you have a market, then it means also farmers are motivated to even produce more. So you can see, like today, the farmers are very eager. Actually, most of them, they are eager. They are ready to start preparing the land. They're just waiting for the water. And as a contractor committed today, in the next 2 weeks, they should be having water. So that enthusiastic that we saw with the farmers, that by itself can tell you we've done a lot of capacity building, and these are people who are ready to uptake the project immediately.
And of course, tell us about the grand plan. Why is the government focusing on irrigation? You do know we're struggling to reach where we can clearly say we are food secure as a country. We're getting towards that particular goal. So what are this grand plan that have been put in place to ensure that this is realized at the end of the day?
You see, food security is a key factor. Even this government actually has put out agriculture as one of the key pillars. And even looking at the global trends, like when the war in Ukraine happened, it affected many countries. And many countries even outside started looking at food security as an issue and said, let's first of all make sure that we are food secure as a country to avoid such. Because that already made the prices of the food go up. So it's because of such things. And as I said earlier, we're importing over 500 billion food, yet we have arable land. 80% of our land is arable land. We just need water. And with water alone, and we have a lot of water. We have a lot of, Tana River down here has a lot of water in terms of, and all of it flows to to Indian Ocean. So that's what they're saying, why can't we tap that water? That's why we are doing efforts to tap that water, use it for Bura irrigation scheme, tap water, that water, use it for whole irrigation scheme. And we've seen the estimate in terms of the flow, there's insufficient flow. That's why we also plan to do the high grand fall, which will be tapping of 5.6 billion. That will take time, but it's still in the plan. Then when we talk about these other rivers in the western region, we have Luanzoia River, which again has a lot of water. All this drain to Lake Victoria. Then we have Kuja River, which again drains to that. You have Nyando River, which most of the time, whenever it rains, there are always floods. So actually we'll be addressing two issues. We are controlling floods, but at the same time, we control floods, but at the same time, we harness that water, harvest it, and use it for production of, use it in a productive way to help us address the issue of food security. So actually is a key agenda even for this government to, because one, it will help us economically and also help address also a big social issue and a climatic issue. Yeah.
And you're talking about a very vital commodity there, water, which is very key, especially for irrigation in the country. So what plans have you put in place to ensure that in Wagawachame we have seen River Umba redirected? So what are you going to do to ensure that this water at the end of the day, not just here in Kwale County, but in various parts of the country, are stored to ensure that these irrigation schemes are realized?
Okay, I think that's where you found when this administration started, His Excellency the President came with a plan of the 100 dams.
Yes.
Some of the 100 dams, we later advertised 34 of them to go under PPP. Of the 34 dams, 22 are for the State Department of Water, 12 were for irrigation, State Department of Irrigation. Among the 12, those are the ones we are currently working on. One of them is Galana Kulal, which has almost 350 million cubic liters of water. We have another one called Radat in Baringo, which again will help a lot in expanding that area of irrigation in Pekera irrigation scheme, which currently we are cropping only 2,600 because of water. Yet with enough water, we can even go all the way to 12,000 acres. Then we have Lowat Dam in Turkana. Again, there we have vast land, but we just need water to tap. We need some just to tap the water. So those are the plans. We are trying to come up with the plans for the dams, and most of them we are doing them under PPP arrangement. Quite a number of them are at a very advanced stage. Like the one for Galana, it's a very advanced stage. The one for High Grand is after the project development phase. This is the one for Radati. Also, it's at an advanced stage. The one for Lowat, and also we have Boso Dam, which anytime His Excellency the President will be doing a groundbreaking for the same. Then also we have some of them which are actually ongoing, like Soimoruji, which was started some times back. Where I think by next year May we should be able to complete it. Then we have Moche Dam in this county, which again by sometimes early 2027 we should also be complete. So that solution for that is harnessing the water, and so that now we can be able to do irrigation. And irrigation is a solution to the food security, the issue of agriculture, because of the issue of climate change. So, and for us to do irrigation, we need to harness the water. So that's the plan. That's why we say we have a big plan to put 1 million acres under irrigation, and at the same time we have a big plan to store over 1 billion cubic liters of water. And in that plan, we have, like under irrigation, we have like 5 investment pathways. One is community, like what we did today in the Wagawachame, whereby you have a community irrigation scheme, which every year we are targeting around 40,000 acres. So in the remaining 8 years, we are targeting approximately 320,000 acres. Then we have the farmer-led irrigation development, whereby we are looking at individual farmers, whereby you're an individual farmer, but you are trying to extract water. So you're also helping you in means, maybe by helping you, giving you subsidized solar, and that kind of a thing. Then also we have the big commercial farms, which we've talked about here earlier, in Bura and Galana. That's a good example. Then we also have the ASALs. ASALs we are talking about where we don't have rivers like, we don't have permanent rivers. There we are talking about harnessing the water from the lagers. So we are doing check dams, and these check dams are going to help us harness water. And when we harness that water, we are going to use it for 3 things. One for domestic, some for agriculture. We are starting to introduce agropatrism in some of the ASAL country, and the other now for feedlots, which are going to give us pasture for the livestock in the ASAL. We realize like last year livestock, we lost over 80% of our livestock because of lack of pasture.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
P.S. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Thank you so much. And there you have it. That is the grand plan of the current administration through the State Department of Irrigation, spearheaded by the Principal Secretary, that is CPA Ephatus Kimotho, when it comes to irrigation schemes across the country. For now, given that we have run out of time, we need to take in the scenic views of the lush green jacaranda jungles here in Kwale County. I want to hand you over to Kiptum and Cargo. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much. This is Hashim. They are joining us from Kwale County. He has been speaking to the Principal Secretary, State Department for Irrigation. That's Ephatus Kimotho. They were assessing the Wanga Mashame irrigation project that's expected to provide over 6,000 jobs and irrigate over 1,200 acres. Good stuff happening there in Kwale County. Now, the key components include river training works, various intake structures, and much more. Thank you so much, Abdi Aziz, for that interview with the